Sweet Ghibli gobblers? Sweet Ghibli gobblers. I got a meeting booked to open up a Chase bank account. They said I can open up a savings that I can access through ATM. They said I could do that for when I'm under 18. And that they'll just use the address on my driver's license. So, progress on that, hopefully. Oh. Alright, just finished this weeding job. Made about $100. The customer said they were like, so they're moving out and they wanted it weeded for when they put the house on the market. But with that, she said I could have some yard tools. So she gave me several items, a pitchfork, and I'm not sure exactly what else. A pitchfork, a pruning tool, and a saw, and earmuffs, because if I take the string trimming job I want to, I need earmuffs for running the string trimmer. Actually, that job I'm going to bid it out tonight. The client got back to me, so we'll see. Hopefully I can land it. I would probably bid it, depending on if I felt like I could do it in a day, probably like 200 to 300. So I just finished that job. It was a bit of a weird experience. So I got there, and the customer wasn't there. So I figured I'd wait for like 30 minutes at the most, and just if they were to show up, they could have just forgotten or something. I did send a text, but they pulled up, had me do like about an hour and a half of weeding. We had booked 3 hours, so I still had more time, but she was like, I'll set the money in the mailbox for you. You can just take it once you're done with the beds you're working on. And I'm trying to figure out if exactly what she is thinking of me, if she was happy with my work, or maybe she wasn't happy and she was just trying to, not trying to let me down softly, so, because she paid me for more hours than I worked. Anyway, I don't know. I think what it is, I think there just wasn't, she just didn't have enough work for the time frame that I booked. And it's kind of as simple as that, because she had me do other work for her previously, and it's not like nothing changed about me, and there shouldn't be any reason that she would all of a sudden be unhappy with my work. So that's what I'm thinking happened. Alright, gonna hit a shower at the YMCA and then go bid out that string trimming job. Alright, I bid out that job. I told him $600. It's basically super overgrown backyard, which would be easy to just string trim down. But the thing is, he wants to hydro seed it, which basically means blast seeds down come spring, in which case you don't want the weeds to be growing back in between the grass in the spring. So the weeds have to be pulled up by hand, and then there's grass mixed in with the weeds that can be cut down with a string trimmer. Then the other thing that's gonna take time is collecting it all with a rake and putting it into the 30-gallon bags, like those 2 bags right there. And it's gonna be a bunch of bags. It's just really not gonna be very efficient. So it's not a huge backyard, but it's pretty overgrown. And because of because of what I just described, I figured 600 would be fair. It's probably a 2-day job, which either way, if it took me 2 entire days, it's still $300 a day. So I'm not, for me, it's totally a fair price. And I think for him, if he were going to get a quote from another landscaping company, it would probably be similar to tackle all of the work that I just described. Overall, even if I don't land, it sounds like he's talking to some other people to get a bid going with a few different contractors. Even if I don't land the work, I'm still really happy with how I approached the customer interaction with him. I asked more questions than anything, and I think that's what you want to do as a salesman, or like somebody. Your goal as somebody trying to sell somebody else on something, I think ethically, the only goal is to understand the customer's problem and help the customer decide if you're the right fit. I know for a fact I can do exactly what the customer wanted, and I gave him a price, and if I can do it and he's happy with the price, then I will have successfully sold him. And on top of that, like, the sales aspect also is taking into account, like, not only can I do it, like, I know I can, but communicating to the customer competency. Like, am I competent? Do they trust that I will actually do it? Because something you see very, very often is really terrible contractors taking advantage of homeowners and just, like, doing bad work. I was talking with a lady today that had a shower tile done, and they didn't run the waterproofing up the wall, and it caused the shower tile basin to basically fall apart, or it started leaking, actually, probably after 1 to 2 years, because the contractor wasn't good. And that was just an example. Like, the contractor should come back out and fix it. Now, mistakes do happen, so you have to have some leniency. But even the same lady that had the issue with the shower basin, she had a contractor not even show up when they were coming to do the weeding like I was doing, and they just straight up didn't show up at all. I just hear story after story of nightmare contractors, and so it's really important to communicate to the customer that you're competent enough to tackle the task at hand. And it's really important for me to not oversell myself. Like, only say I can do what I can actually do, and it's going to give more authority in my voice. I'm going to be able to sell it way easier when I just know I can do it myself. That's going to get communicated to the customer just through pure confidence, like, in my tonality. And so, like, don't even sell I just think the idea of sales gets a bad rep because it's people trying to rip other people off. I think it can be viewed more as you're trying to communicate your competency to the customer. You're trying to communicate that you're trustworthy, and you have to be trustworthy. Don't communicate you're trustworthy if you're a scammer, of course, then you're just scamming. And then it is bad sales, and it should get a bad rep. But I think become good, communicate that you're good, and help the customer get what the customer wants. And you can only understand what the customer wants by, like, actually talking to them. And I think that's why I was so happy with today, is, like, I actually asked a bunch of questions about what he was planning to do in the future, what he's done, why he didn't use his lawn care guys. He didn't use his lawn care guys because they're all booked out really far. So now I know a selling point that I can leverage, and that's part of the problem that I'm helping him solve. Sure, I'm getting the garden cleared, but I'm getting it cleared before the landscapers could do it. I think that's the key. And all of that comes from asking the customer questions about the problem they're facing and communicating your solution to it. So in that whole process, I basically recapped to him exactly what I would do to fix the problem that he had. So I'm going to pull all the weeds, I'm going to cut the grass, I'm going to make sure we put everything in bags, and I'm going to rake up all my debris. And then I even dangled in front of that, like, hey, in the future, if you want me to do, he mentioned having a rock retainer wall put up. If you want a rock retaining wall put up, you're more than welcome to. like we can work with that in the future. So basically, I just like reaffirmed to the customer what they said their problem was. This guy's communicating back to me like, wait, he knows what the problem is and he knows how to solve it. And so I think that's good sales. Even if I don't land the job, I'm still happy with it. Now, I do hope I land the job, though. That would be very fantastic. I think the salesmanship is something I haven't shown a ton of, but it's definitely something I'm consistently trying to work on becoming better. Even from start to finish, how can I make this experience, I don't know, how can I be the best salesman I can be? And so far, judging by the fact that, I've been booked out for a week consistently, and I'm landing, jobs, and I'm hitting bids, so far, I've been moderately successful with my sales skills. Obviously, there's always room for improvement, but I really love sales, and I'll probably keep talking more about it as the project progresses. I guess if I had to summarize it for my own notes in my mind, the whole sales process that I'm trying to learn and use is understand what the customer's problem is, communicate that understanding back to them, and communicate your competency at solving the problem. So you have to communicate that, okay, this guy can and will solve my problem without ripping me off. And you have to communicate, this guy actually understands what my problem is. He understands what I'm facing. And when you can communicate to the customer, hey, I know what problem you're facing. I understand the pain that goes with, I know how frustrating it is to have an overgrown yard and have your husband getting mad at you, because I've had this exact situation. I know what it's like to have your wife getting after you to get this yard done, but you're just super busy with work. And you don't actually say that, but you communicate, yeah, man, that is frustrating. And you empathize with the customer. And when they feel understood and they feel like you can actually solve their problem, what would stop them from wanting to use you? Nothing. When they genuinely feel like you're going to solve their problem. Now, maybe you're priced too high, in which case they're like, well, I don't know if it's worth it to solve this problem. Which I haven't ran into any pricing objections yet. All of my bids, people have seemed to respond pretty accepting of. We'll see, though. As I start pricing higher, I might get people being like, that's a high price. I don't know if I want to pay that. So I have a specific setup in mind for screws. So I'm going to put together that double roof rack put on that next layer to the truck thing. But what's really, really handy, and I learned this a while ago, is that having an assortment of different screws, there's literally nothing better. So I get an organizer and then just buy a bunch of different sizes. We got all these ordered. I met this guy in Lowe's who's also working on his stuff late. I'm gonna pop in and see if there's anything I can help with. Howdy.
How's it going?
Good. What you got issues going on?
I think I got it figured out.
Oh really? This is a big rig.
Yeah.
What was the issue?
Oh, I'm replacing bows that hold the tarp up in there.
Oh, okay.
So
What is it for? Oh, I see. It's just a big trailer for hauling. Okay.
Yeah, just hauling whatever fits inside it.
All right. Well, you got it then. I was just coming by to see if you needed a hand.
Nope, I got her.
All right, sweet. Well, have a good evening.
Yeah, you too.
All right, let's unpack what $225 at Lowe's gets you. So, first things first, gas can for the string trimmer I'm picking up tomorrow, hopefully. If not tomorrow, I'll find somebody else that's selling one and pick it up. Ratchet straps. Strap down this stuff a little better. This is working fine for the most part, but it might be nice. I think I can just run one strap through here, tighten it down pretty good, and we'll be chilling, especially with the double rack. I just want, never hurts to be extra secure. That was a suggestion from the comments. Not a suggestion. It was like, oh, you're gonna kill everyone because your stuff's gonna fly off instantly. That was the comment. But no, nobody's died. I've put like 200 miles on it. There's really not any force taking this off, except for the leaf rake maybe, but it's whatever. Not gonna go too far into that. Anyway, got the ratchet straps for that. Got flags for if I'm working with guys and having them help me pull weeds or dig a trench, flagging out exactly what we're doing and where would be handy. I got a simple trowel. This was $5 just for the weeding. Looks a little more professional when I have all my own tools, and for $5 can't go wrong, and it's way better than having nothing. Pair of thinner gloves because my last ones got a hole in them. These are $5 as well. These are good for small weeds that my thick gloves are hard to grip onto. Oil for the string trimmer gas. Oh yes, a drill to socket adapter set so I can use my sockets on my drill very easily. That was $10. I've got a large bit set. I know, as if I didn't have enough bits already, but it's really, really valuable to have all the bits I need, because if I'm missing one bit, I have to go like 10 minutes, like it can interrupt an entire project. This has got 100 pieces for $12, and it's got several specialty bits that I might not run into very often, but when I do, I'm gonna be glad I have that case. Got, oh yeah, 2 eye bolts for the double layer, which obviously palm on the other side, strap, boom, good stuff there. What are we doing next? Oh yes, pickaxe. This is for the gutter that I'm gonna sink into the ground. So basically running a gutter line. It's gonna be PVC, but so water will fall on the roof, run into the gutter, down the gutter, underground, and then eventually leave. But there's lots of roots and rocks, so this thing, boom, chop the roots, boom. That was like $35. I've got more grass bags, pretty cheap, and for the big job that I bid out today, if I land that, I'm gonna need a lot of these, but I figured even if I don't land it, it's handy to have plenty on hand. This was a big money sink. This was $100 right here, but worth every cent in my opinion, and we'll see in the future. I think it will be. I've basically got all wood screws of different sizes, and that's all, and an organizer. I've had this exact setup before, and it came in, it's just a lifesaver. Like, if you're screwing plywood, you got screws that won't go too far. If you're screwing big 2x4s, you got screws that'll be perfect. So it's a perfect combination. This case was like $30 or $22. These were $10 a piece. So like almost $100 in just the screws. But the thing is, this is gonna last me months, years. It might, like, this could last me years, and it's just super, super handy to have on hand. So I think it's worth it. And then I got the 3 2x4s as well. Those were $9. It's not worth disassembling a pallet. There's no way it would have been worth the time for $9 to get literally everything I need. So I can build this second layer now, which I'll probably do, or I'm going to do right now. So that's the shopping list. That came out to a total of $225. But let's get started on the roof rack. Here's the pitchfork one of my customers gave me today, because they're moving out in a few weeks, and they were like, yeah, they're just gonna sell it all at an estate sale, and they take 50% commission, so you can just have it. So very kind and handy of them, because I actually was planning on buying one for the spreading mulch. So very, very handy. Man, this is gonna look so cool once I have a double layer on. I can't wait. And then when I got the string trimmer on there, like, I'm gonna look actually professional. Well, maybe not professional, but pretty good. Boom. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different screw sizes, also in ascending order, so smallest to largest. Then I have my bits right here. Luckily they're all the same size, which is actually pretty handy. I can tell you from experience. So any size I'm using, and this is really helpful because, for example, tonight I'm putting 2x4s together, which means I don't want to have a screw that's too long. This one might work, but it might stick through the other side. This is a 3-inch screw. It'll probably work unless I sink it, but what I know is going to work a little bit better is this one, where it's definitely going to go into the other piece of wood, but it might not go all the way through. You know, if you can imagine how handy this would be. Like, let's say I wanted to put a piece of plywood into this 2x4. Boom, I'd use this screw. So we'd have the plywood, it'd go here. If I had just this screw, it would poke through the 2x4. So definitely very, very handy. I also have extra capacity up here, so I can add some smaller screws, maybe some like normal drywall screws or something. But for now I'll leave it empty. And now I have all these screws that I can use to start building everything, and I'll use this tonight. Other thing I got from the customer today is a pair of earmuffs, which I was gonna buy a pair anyway, like soon, because even just using my circular saw, it gets quite loud, especially string trimming too. So very pleased with that, saving some money and getting free stuff that I need. Boom. I need 6 at this length. Okay, I like that. I might lose... Oh, weird. I might lose 2 bays. But I like... We'll see. I think I like that. Because then I'll just do another row just like this above it. I think that's gonna be the play. Something I am doing is labeling these pieces so I can keep track of them. Since I just eyeballed this, putting on this originally, it's out of square, so it kind of makes... I have to cut each piece differently, which is why you label them. But I decided I'm just gonna cut notches and this piece so I can have the pieces still slide in. Really shouldn't be too crazy to do that. Actually, it should be really, really simple. Boom. R1. Sweet. Looks good. I decided I'm actually going to paint it while it's on, because there's no way I'm going to have enough paint to do each of the pieces individually, and I don't see any drawback to doing it while it's on. I just might end up needing to touch pieces up if I if I take it all apart and use the wood for other stuff. Okay, see, I got the perfect length screws, and I'm not complaining. Slowly, surely coming together. I think I'm gonna go ahead and move this eye bolt to right here, and then just run the strap over everything. So that should work perfect. And as much as I hate to admit it, this strap is a way more secure hold. Well, it also helps because I'm not cramming so many tools on one level. Now these tools can sit nicely in the grooves. Before I just had too many tools in one spot, but that being said, the strap is definitely more secure, so a good upgrade. And I don't really see these coming off pretty much at all, because it can't get out of the groove now because of the strap. But we'll just do the same thing here tomorrow when I get the string trimmer. It'll go right here. Man, it'd be cool to have some side racks for like string trimmer gas, my spare gas, like some other, like a 5-gallon bucket. I'd love to show up to the customer's door and have a bucket preset ready with garden tools and like gloves and stuff or like that. That'd be so cool. So maybe that could be the future. I'm trying to think of how that might work, but for now, move these eye hooks, get everything painted. Definitely coming together nicely. I can already store this pickaxe I got. That was partially why I felt like I needed to get this done today. So I could actually store the tools that I have. On the bottom row, I have 2 more bays open for tools. They have to be kind of flat tools to fit in between here. But if I have a couple flat tools, I can slide those in, and then the top, I can definitely get a string trimmer and then probably 2 more tools. So I have storage for, I'd say, to be nice, 3 more hand tools. And then also the string trimmer. So the string trimmer is going to be a cool one. I'm excited. I'd love to land that job for $600. I just feel, I mean, it's a fair chunk of money too. So that's we'll see. Just depends on his experience. He has another contractor coming to look at it tomorrow, so it depends on how that goes. Almost there. Almost out of paint too. There we go. Okay. That is the double layer of the rack done. I gotta put all the tools back on and we'll be good to go. Alright, got the rack put together. It might be kind of dark because they shut the lights off on me. But looks great. The noose ratchet straps seem to hold it nice and secure. And I have room for more tools. Probably about three yard tools in the string trimmer. Maybe 4 if I wanted to cramp it a little bit. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm in the process of working out as well. Figured I'd work out, and during my rest I would put stuff away in the truck, so tag team in that. It's just about midnight, so I'm gonna finish my workout, find a place to park for tonight, and then call it there. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Sleep well. Enjoy your safe, secure house.